To some extent, whether you are in quantum world or classical world, right? Tell me, in which world now you are? When I am going to teach this course, that's why I am asking. This course is relevant with quantum world or classical world. Are you agree with me? I also tell, we are not now in classical world, rather we are in quantum world. So everything is invisible, but that is the real fact from where we can learn many things. That's why it is quantum world. In quantum world, everything is invisible, but although it is invisible, but responsible to characterize about the nature characteristic of any material with which we will deal in this course. That's why you are in quantum world. Would you follow what I am telling? Why I am in quantum world? That is the reason why we are not in classical world that we can directly visualize, rather we are in quantum world where everything is invisible, but still we have to find out the solution out of it, and they must be verified experimentally and justified experimentally. Then only it is accepted to be a fact, real thing that happens in this nature. So now probably all of you might have agreed with me that we are never now in classical world, rather we are in quantum world. So think in that way, never come back to again classical, right? To understand that course content, whatever I will teach in this semester. So then now the question is, because you see very complex thing is that when quantum comes, nothing is fixed, everything is probable. You know why, right? In quantum world, nothing is finite like classical, rather all are probable, uncertain, and out of that uncertain and probability, we are achieving the reality. That's why it is important. That's why it is fundamental mechanics. Quantum is fundamental, never classical. So although we are all in a state where nothing is visualized, but still we have to draw the conclusion out of this non-visible quantum world to visualize the things that happens in this nature, And very simple example I can tell you in that way. How can you define or how can you recognize a people before you, his characteristic is good or bad? Can anybody tell? Respond to my question. We are all visualizing each other, right? Is it classical or quantum? Obviously classical, right? But when I come to the question, how can you characterize a person before you? Is it visible or invisible? Invisible, yes, right? It is invisible, and again linked with the properties like honesty, integrity, sincerity. They are also invisible, but to some extent you have to realize, otherwise you can never characterize any person in this world. You can never characterize any person before you in this world, not in this classroom. So everything is quantum world now with which we are dealing, right? This is the example, well-known example I told you, and that is a fact or not, you tell. That is a fact or not? Do you agree with me what I told as an example? How can you characterize somebody? Can you tell by looking from the face that he is a good person, his character is good? No, never, impossible. There are some measuring parameters. On that basis you can tell the characteristic of this fellow is good or bad. No in between, nothing in between, good or bad, right? Either good or bad. And those parameters are, what those parameters are? Which are visualized, of course, to some extent, not completely. What those parameters are? Those parameters are honesty, integrity, sincerity. So you can correlate these parameters to define your own wave function and then characterize the person to whom you are going to characterize, right? So everything is quantum. Nothing is classical here, what I told as an example. right? Nothing is classical, everything is quantum. But that quantum again gives you nice information about a person, what is his or her character, which one should learn, then obviously you are dealing with quantum mechanics, not classical. And that is the importance of quantum mechanics, and that is the reason why we are reaching now in quantum world, and the course content itself is never coming to classical, rather all the time to quantum. So now going back to the last class, I told you to do something regarding the origin of X-ray. Anybody who has done it? About the origin of X-ray. I told you about the whole electromagnetic spectra, what is visible spectra, what is invisible spectra. Invisible spectra consisting of again two, ultraviolet, infrared, and why it is called so, why they are invisible, why that part is visible, everything is explained, right? And the X-ray is coming in what range? Visible or invisible? That's why it is quantum, because everything relevant with that course is dealing with X-ray. That's why it is quantum. That is the reason why I told you we are now in quantum world, not in classical world. Because the photon, that itself is invisible radiation. But that invisible radiation again gives us the information to understand what kind of structure is there in a material, and that is characterization of material by different advanced X-ray structure analysis or methods. The course is designed in that way, where X-ray photons are all the time used to extract information about that structure which you cannot visualize with the help of these visible radiations. With the help of these visible radiations available to us, maybe in this room or outside the room, you can never extract the information about the structure associated with any material, may it be in solid state, liquid state, gaseous state, plasma state. Matter can exist in all four states, but not all the time. Any one of the state may be, or combination of two, but unless you reach at that point, that may be at nanoorder length again. But to reach at that length order, this visible radiation can never help us, never. But these are very important, otherwise you can never characterize any material, may it be in solid state, may it be in liquid state, may be in gaseous state, may be in the plasma state. That is the reason why you must have to understand the structure at atomic or molecular level, or in general you can tell at nano-order length. You have to understand the structure at nano-order length that reaches to the atoms, sometimes ions, sometimes molecules. Otherwise, you can never characterize any material. Characterization is nothing but the structure property relation is the characterization. So when you tell characterization of any material, they must be correlated with each other. Unless it is correlated, that is never a characterization technique, never. So if you are telling this material is having this thermal property, this electrical property, this optical property, this magnetic property, then you must have to correlate that structure at nano-order length with those properties like the things that you are learning in the branch of optics, heat and thermodynamics, electricity, magnetism, whatever it may be. Many are there. That way again we are dealing with physics. I am not telling about chemistry. Chemistry is something different. You can correlate that in that way only. So when we are telling that to characterize a material which is the important part of science and technology now across the world, the new branch that evolved everywhere across the world is material science. And what that material science is? It is nothing but the characterization or the structure property relation of a new material that is synthesized in the laboratories for the benefit of mankind. Many materials may be synthesized in the laboratory, many people are synthesizing in the laboratory, but not necessarily all the materials can be acceptable by the human being. Some will be thrown out, some will be taken, because those materials are having certain properties which are not there with others. That's why we have to select them. For example, if you are telling, take the example of pen and paper that with which you are sitting here. They have certain properties, definitely, there is no doubt in it. If you are telling that I am able to write in this paper with this pen, what does it mean? Can you write with this pen with any paper? Definitely no. Can you use this paper with any pen? Definitely no. But there is some relation between the kind of ink that is used in this pen and the kind of the paper that you are using, so that you are telling I am writing something here. Then what that is the compatibility. Behavior or property of the ink must be compatible with the property of the paper, so that something can be written. If not compatible, it is impossible. So then how can you relate this? What do you mean by writing? May it be on a paper piece with the help of pen or pencil, may it be on the blackboard with the help of piece of chalk, may it be anywhere. But once you are telling I am writing something, two things comes into our mind. Where you are writing, with what you are writing. Where you are writing and with what you are writing. And they must have compatibility. That compatibility is nothing but the characteristic property of these two, on which you are writing, with what you are writing. And that is compatibility, and that is the importance of any material that we are using in our day-to-day activities. And the well-known example that I told, all of us, every educated fellow is using that paper, pen, pencil, maybe some other kinds of pens. But try to understand what the meaning of that writing is in the language of science. That is the language of science you have to understand, because you are the students of science. For a layman, it is nothing, but for you people, it is everything. For you people, it is everything. You must have to learn. Then only you are learning science or technology, otherwise not. This is the simplest example I told, many are there. If you analyze, you will get the solution. Ultimately, you are reaching at that point that the material must have to be characterized properly, judiciously, so that it can be selected for the benefit of the mankind. Like that, if I will tell textile material that we are wearing every day, all the time, any material cannot be acceptable to be a textile material. It must have certain properties to be used as a textile material. Not all, because they have certain properties with them which is giving comfortable for wearing. Then only it can be acceptable by or as a textile material. But all the textile materials are not having good characteristics or properties to be selected as a textile material, right? Because all the materials used in textile material may or may not be used by us, but definitely will tell or agree with me that some are giving me comfortable, but not all. You may have used many dresses from your childhood till now, but still there is something in your mind. Some gives comfortable, but not all. The reason being, the behavior or the characteristic of those materials which are not comfortable are not compatible to be used as a textile material. They don't have that characteristic which should have to be acceptable as a textile material. The well-known example, all of you might have heard about it. Which is the best textile material till now we are using from the very beginning when we come over to this universe? Cotton is the best textile material available in this universe. No one till now has able to replace it. But I am telling again, it is not synthetic cotton, synthesized in the laboratory, but natural cotton, right? No textile material till now synthesized by many material scientists across the globe, and they are trying still, can replace natural cotton to be used as a textile material. Why? What is the reason behind that then? because they have certain properties which are not there with other textile material that we are using. And that is the reason why the price goes high. Demand is more, production is less. When you go to the market to buy a textile or dress material made up of cotton, obviously it is costlier than others. Reason is that only. That is the only reason, because it gives us comfortable, for which it is used, accepted to be a textile material. So if you go for comfortable, you have to spend money. And why money? Again, because the demand is more, production is less. If it is industry, synthesized in the laboratory, there is no doubt in it about the production part. But when it comes to natural, something else is coming into picture. That's why the cost goes high all the time. And that is the characteristic of that cotton, which is accepted across the globe as the best textile material till now. No one till now has replaced the natural cotton. Many textile materials are used by us, not us, all of us across the world, but still no one can feel comfortable other than cotton, right? That means cotton must have certain behaviors, it must have certain characteristics within that is again relevant with its structure at nanometer length. Not that we can look from outside, yes, this is cotton, what is the behavior, what is the structure? You should reach at that order if you want to really analyze and tell why the behavior, character of cotton is comfortable. So material science research is that only. People across the globe are searching, and I don't know how long they will search to replace this natural cotton. Till now it is impossible, but still they are searching to replace natural cotton. They succeed to some extent by synthetic cotton, but yet it is different than natural cotton. And the reason being why I am telling all this is, I try to tell you why you are interested to learn about this course. It is compelled by your faculty advisor, that's why, or something else. What is the reason to attend this class? May it be PhD student, may it be integrated MS student, may it be MSc student. It is because of your own interest or you are compelled to do it. There is a lot of difference. That's why I am asking. If you have your own interest, I will be comfortable. My job will be easy. But if you are not comfortable, my job is difficult. Once you have interest with any course that you want to learn, it is very easy for a teacher, whoever he may be, if taught that course. So now tell, is it your own interest for which you are here, or it is compulsion? All of you have? But that must be reflected to me, right? Whether you have interest or not, I must visualize with my own parameters. It must be visualized to me that you have interest, that's why you are here. So then again, going back to see this, now you can understand why I am telling we are all in quantum world. Would you follow me? Are you agree with me? There is no alternative way out to tell yes. You must have to tell yes, we are in quantum world. Right? We are in quantum world. Not classical. But still, we are collecting lot many informations with the help of that quantum world which are realistic. We must have to obey it. Right? Quantum world is unbelievable till it is not experimented. Right? Unless a fact that is there in quantum mechanics is justified through experimentation, nobody will believe, nobody will accept as a part of science. Now everybody is accepting and trying to learn quantum mechanics because otherwise they cannot understand this universe, cannot understand this nature, and everybody is learning to learn about this nature. nothing else. Right? To learn about this nature, what this nature is, from where it came, how it came. Everything lies in quantum mechanics, not classical. And if you want to really learn about this nature, you have to understand the problem at that level, and that is the quantum level, quantum approach, quantum world. And that is the reason why one must have to be thorough in quantum mechanics to understand this course, which will throw some light, maybe during this course what you are doing, or in future also, higher study. Right? It will throw some light, definitely, there is no doubt in it. If you learn the course properly and you are visualizing the objects relevant with this course as if you are in the quantum world, not in classical world. Right? You should have that feeling in you. Then only you can learn something which will benefit you in your future course of action. You may not realize it now when you are here in this institute, but when you go out, you will know what that importance is if you are going for higher studies. You may not feel it now, but one day definitely will realize what is the importance of learning that course here. So then now, if coming to the X-ray part, I told you X-ray is in the invisible spectra, right? Photons are invisible, that's why it is quantum world. But with the help of these invisible photons, you are extracting the things which are visualized to us and they are realistic. Simplest example is, if I will give you some material and ask you, tell me whether it is crystalline material or amorphous material, because all the properties, behavior of that material decided by that only, whether it is crystalline material or amorphous material. So then how to react to that question? How can you answer to my question? You should have there in quantum world or in classical world. How can you answer this question? Any material, whatever it may be again in solid, liquid, gas, plasma state, some material is given to you and I want to know, tell me whether this material is crystalline, amorphous or semi-crystalline, with which all the behavior, character, property of the material depends. Once you know that, you can to some extent characterize the material well. If you know that this material is having crystalline behavior, it has certain properties. Again, properties are many, optical, thermal, magnetic, many. And similarly, the other things also. So when we are telling that we are going to characterize a material to be knowing why you are characterizing, but first thing is the structure. Structure means not the external structure that we can visualize classically. That structure where there is everything in nano world. Right? Everything is in nano world. Then only you can realize whether this material is crystalline, amorphous or semi-crystalline. And all their properties are altogether different from each other. Right? Behavior of a crystalline material will never match with amorphous, never match with semi-crystalline. And again, the semi-crystalline material also varies from one to another depending on the percentage of crystallinity and amorphosity. Maximum materials that we are using in our day-to-day activity, starting from pen to bucket of water, anything, whatever you may see, are above 90% semi-crystalline, may it be natural or artificial. Right? May it be natural or artificial, but in our day-to-day activities, whatever materials you are using, starting from getting up from the bed till sleeping, even during the time of sleeping, almost all are semi-crystalline. Right? Then you should have to know what that semi-crystallinity is. To know that, you should have to first know what is crystallinity, what is amorphosity, and how it is associated to tell this material is crystalline, that material is amorphous, that material is semi-crystalline. It is a must. Otherwise, you can never characterize any material, whatever may come to us. Never, impossible. That thing you have to do, one has to do, and it is a must in science and technology. It is a must. Otherwise, you are not doing science and technology. May it be medical technology, may it be engineering technology, may it be any technology. Right? If you are not doing this thing, then you are not doing justice to learn science and technology. To justify that, you have to do that. There is no alternative way out. To justify before this world, yes, we learn science and technology because of these reasons. It may not be during your period here, study career, but when you go to outside this institute, there you can realize. There you can realize why it is so important to learn about science and technology. May not be now, but definitely in future. It is, you must have to know in what way I am learning science and technology. Right? And that is the importance of learning, may it be science, technology, anything. Anything that are included in your curriculum for a degree. The degree itself will reflect that if he or she has this degree, she or he might have the understanding at that level. Is it fitting with my job or not? Fitting with my research or not? Fitting with my activities that I want to take him or her or not? Obviously, whenever you are selected by somebody for some purpose, it is under compulsion. He or she has to know at what level you are. What is your understanding of science and technology so that you will fit to that job. So, if you are not learning the things properly, sometimes we will feel insulted because we taught you such courses in this institute that you are unable to answer those questions asked by the experts outside this institute. It is an insult to us. We all teachers are responsible for that. All teachers, those who are teaching during your career here, are all responsible. If you are unable to answer before any expert outside this institute, not inside. Inside nobody will ask you. Everybody knows everybody. Right? What you are, I know. What I am, you know. Like that. The whole population of this institute is recognized by all of us. Everybody knows who is what. But when the question comes, if you are in the outside world, when you are leaving this institute, from where you learn many things that builds your career, what I want to say, whatever the course content may be, but learn in such a way that you will not blame us, we teachers, those who taught the courses during your career or curriculum, whatever is involved in your curriculum. Otherwise, definitely we are blamed, may it be directly or indirectly. We will feel insulted. There is no doubt in it. I am telling an example that I experienced many a times when I am outside the world, outside this country. I am proudly telling that my students are across the globe, anywhere in all countries, you may ask, and I have contact till now. My students here are across the globe. I am proud of it. Right? And when I am visiting to somewhere abroad, definitely my students who are there are come to me, and at the same time the experts present there associated with them they asked, what about the learning teaching process in your institute? Because probably this professor is not able to understand what my student telling them. But when I am there, they are bound to ask me, and it should be. It should be. They asked me, please tell me, what is the learning teaching process at your institute? I have to tell the truth, and usually I never tell lie, so I told the truth. Right? Whatever I am visualizing here, the same thing I told before anybody, whoever he may be. May it belongs to our country or outside the country. Whatever is fact, whatever is truth, I am bound to follow it. And whatever I feel, I have to tell them. That you may realize what I will tell or what I am telling till now. I will not disclose it, but that is true. I told it many times before the experts outside the country, not within the country. Within the country, leave it. You cannot believe where you are, in which world you are learning, what you are learning. So when you link this now with this content of the course, everything must be transparent to all of you, what I am telling. Whether you are realizing that we are here to learn something that at least me will not be blamed across the world. Not in this institute. I never bother about this institute. Never. Although I am a student of this department, physics and astronomy, now, then it was physics. It is my department, but still never bothers what the people here are telling me. But I all the time bothers what the people outside the country telling us. That's why I bothers. So I don't want to teach you in such a way that one day you may not be, but the person who is associated with you, maybe directly or indirectly, will blame me. That is never my purpose of teaching, never, till now. I have now about 35 years of teaching experience, 35. I have never did that which will be blame me. And I am assured, so long as I am doing this job, I will never do that, never. I may be blamed, I may be insulted by anybody else, but I will stick to my principle, and I am sticking and will stick. That is my principle, my ethics, my integrity. So now you tell me, when I am telling X-ray photon, all the time we are dealing with that in this course, of course. And why we are learning this course? Because it will help us in future career, right? Future career, because everybody is running after the career, but they don't know what that career is. What kind of career you want to build up? Try to understand yourself first, whether I am a suitable person or not, whether I should think of that career or not. If not, then better not to go. If you feel that I should not choose this career because I don't have sufficient knowledge in that, better reject it. Better reject it. Otherwise, you will feel insulted there wherever you may be. So, it is the better option to reject, to choose your career in such a direction where you will feel very, very happy and comfortable. That is the objective of everybody's life. And to some extent, it can also be achieved through science and technology. Everything we need is the peace, satisfaction with the job. Live happily, let others to live happily. If that much is not there, your learning process is useless. It's totally useless. Whatever you may learn, you may be in class 2, standard 2, 3, 10, 12, plus 3, PG, PhD, postdoc, whatever it may be. Everybody wants that. How happily I will spend my life. Everybody. Because they know otherwise my life is miserable. And for that only you are coming here to learn something so that you will feel happy out of it. But if it is reverse, then you are spoiling your own life. Knowingly, not unknowingly, knowingly. And doing mischief or mistake unknowingly is not that much important, but if you are doing the mistake knowingly, it is very much dangerous for your life. Nobody can rectify that. You yourself will only feel when that can be rectified. Otherwise, nobody can change that. When you will feel that this mistake is unknowingly done by me, it is all right. But when that mistake is knowingly done by me, everything is gone. Nobody can change that. So don't do the mistakes that you know that it is well known to me. It is not good. I should not do in that way. Right? You see, any people or any human being has some mistakes. They will face that kind of problem in their life. But if the mistakes are unknowingly done, there is excuse. Everybody will excuse. I myself as a teacher also excusing. But when it comes to my mind that somebody is doing the mischief knowingly, I can never leave him or her. Never. He should be punished. May it be academically or non-academically, that depends on me how I will penalize, but definitely be penalized. You are now, suppose for example I am telling to this X-ray photon, of course I am in introduction level still, I am not touching the course content that I want to teach under this course. You are just in the introductory level. Why I am telling these things? Because otherwise you may lose interest to learn about this course. That's why. You may feel that you are in a wrong position by attending this class. That's why. You should feel that, yes, I am in a right place all the time when you are in the class. So now the thing that I want to tell is that now you tell whether these X-ray photons are visible or invisible. Invisible, so you are dealing with quantum, right? To achieve or to visualize the realistic world. Right? With the help of the X-ray photon, you can collect the informations which you can never collect by other kinds of radiations available to us. That's why it is important. So obviously you are in quantum world. Right? You are in quantum world. And I told you, and still I don't know why you are unable to tell me about the origin of X-ray photon. And that measures how much sincere you are for this course. Right? I told you last class, how many days passed? How many days passed? Last class was on Friday, right? On Friday I told you. And today is Wednesday. Count the time in second, you cannot count it. In minute, can count it. In days, still better to count. But it is fruitless. It has no value at all. The time has no value. That I will tell. Right? Because you are unable to answer my question I asked on Friday. Today is Wednesday. Simple question, what is the origin of X-ray photon? That you read in +2, BTech first year, maybe in between also. Yes? But try to understand what you are telling. First you try to understand what you are telling. Right? You tell me again.
There are different energy levels. Let's say there are 5 cells.
5? Who told you?
Let's say there is an atom.
No, who told you 5?
I'm just considering any particular atom, any atom.
Any atom has 5 cells? Tell me one.
Sir, n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 10, it can be any.
Up to what? That 1, 2, 3, 4 up to what?
Infinity.
Then why you are telling 5?
Let's say I'm saying.
Not let. Don't tell. It cannot be.
Okay, so let's say.
If you are telling, you are wrong. Right? Don't tell wrong things. Don't tell wrong things. So now realize now what you told is correct or wrong. Wrong or correct? What you told? Huh? Anybody can answer to that about the origin? He is wrong. What he told is absolutely wrong. His concept itself is wrong. Anybody have any idea on origin of X-ray photons? That's why it bothers me. So much time you spent, but unable to answer a very simple question about that thing that you have learned many a times since +2. Right? It shows how much interested you are for this course. I measures in that way. It shows how much interested you are for learning this course. And what is your integrity? I don't know. You are telling something and fact is different. And that measures the integrity of all of us. If you are telling something, you must bind to follow it. If I am instructing something, I am bound to follow it. Otherwise, I don't have integrity. Similarly, your integrity. I measure the integrity of all of you. I have a scale with me and I measure on that way. And why I told you to learn it? Because everything cannot be covered in the stipulated time what is allotted for me to cover this course. Right? Something you have to learn yourself. They are the assignments, homework given, and you are not following that. Otherwise, I may be in trouble to cover up the course within the stipulated time given to me. That's why I am bothered. Because time is limited for everybody. Right? My time is my time. Your time is not my time. So how I will manage my time, that I know. I don't know how you are managing your time. But to some extent, I am sure that not you are able to manage your own time. Try to manage it properly. Time is precious for everybody. But where is the proof? That's true, everybody knows and tells and written in the book also. But you are not following that. Then how it is true for you? That's why you don't have integrity. You are telling something, doing something. Everybody knows time is precious. Why not for you? And that tells about your integrity. And if you don't have these three characters, parameters, by which the quantum world will characterize you, maybe now, tomorrow, in future, are sincerity, integrity, honesty. You cannot exclude that from your life to be blamed as a non-character people of this world. You don't have character. It is very, very miserable word to listen, either by you or by me. Because I am teaching this course, you are my student. If you don't have suitable character, ultimately, indirectly, I am also blamed. Because I have never taught you about the character. That is my job to do as a teacher. Otherwise, I will be blamed. That's why. If you don't have interest, better don't come here. But don't try to play mischief. What you are telling, be careful what you are telling. It is audible to everybody here, recorded. That's why I told you from the beginning. Sitting in the last bench, you are mimicking, telling something. You feel that nobody is listening, but it is recorded. Try to understand. You are not in a room where nothing is visualized, recognized by any instrument, but here it is. That is the difference. So you tell me next class, first, about that origin of X-ray photons. Right? Otherwise, I will feel that you don't have interest, and I will cover up the course within the stipulated time, whether you understood it or not. That is up to you. Right? I will teach accordingly, on my own way. Because I have to finish the course, I have taken that responsibility, and I will do that. Because it cannot be one way. Learning teaching process is all the time mutual. Mutual. Never one way. I will teach you something, you will also teach me something. Then only it is a class for which we are all here. Otherwise not. Don't feel that you will not teach, only I will teach. It is one way. It is never a real class. Never. And so long as you are not teaching me, I feel that it is never a real class. Never. You have to teach me, like I am teaching you. You have to teach me also. It is mutual all the time. Otherwise, it is not at all a classroom. That is the difference between ordinary room and classroom. It is a classroom. And that is the importance of classroom. So better you come prepared for the origin of X-ray photons. Next class, accordingly we will proceed.